but
Yeah.
I might include this in it just so that it's recording, so I don't have to go back to it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
No, I just got back from Carolina Beach. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We rented out like this apartment out in close to it was off of Fayetteville Avenue, real close to everything, like their amusement rides, the Ferris wheels,
like
and like the bars
in the
and stuff.
center of everything.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So it was really cool.
That
Got a little bit
It's been a
tanned.
while since I've been to the beach.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. No, it's been a while.
When was the last time you went?
I think the last time I went was when I went scuba diving.
Really? Oh, you've gone scuba diving?
Yeah, I'm certified rescue
No
diver.
way.
Yeah.
Really?
It's been a year and a half since I've done it, but yeah, I'm a certified.
My buddy's certified too.
Diver, which
That's
is
cool.
I love it. I love scuba diving.
I've only done it a couple times, and it's like more mental than anything I've ever
It's so relaxing.
One of the most mental things I've ever done. You know, like everything that you have to do, all the multitasking, the floating up and down, the whole when you got to clear your mask too. Similar to the gas chamber.
I never thought about it like that. It really is a lot of different things. I got I'm watching my air, I'm watching my breathing, controlling my breathing. You are clearing the air when you're descending.
Like just staying calm, because water can get into your mask too when you're down there too.
It's so annoying.
For me, there's the last time I did it, I almost wanted to take off the whole mask, and I was like, okay, wait, no, let me calm down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure you never take this out, right?
Yeah,
That's one
yeah.
thing. One rule: never take out your regulator.
Yeah.
That's funny. Wow, nah, dude. Yeah, it is like that. It's a lot of like pulling bells and whistles and stuff like that. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But when you actually do it though, and then you really get to get into it, and it's calm.
Yeah.
So relaxing.
Yeah.
It's one of the most relaxing things I've ever done.
I bet. You just you're down there, and then you realize once you get it down packed, wow, I'm breathing underwater, I'm like a
80
fish
feet
right
underwater
now.
right now.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing all the cool wildlife and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is.
I've actually never done it out in lakes or bodies of water. Actually, I've always done it in big pools. The few times that I did it, so.
My first ocean dive, the water was pretty rough. But it was really cool though. I mean, it was maybe 10-foot swell, so it wasn't too bad. But I got all my gear on. I'm ready to step, and I look back and I'm like, all right, I'm ready, guys. And I'm like, all right, you're ready? All right, we'll see you at the bottom. And then they kick me off the boat.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there floating. We had a line going all the way down. I'm just sitting there floating. It's just blue everywhere. And you're like, wow, it's really big.
Wow.
You really get a grasp on just
how small we are, and
just
how big the ocean
things
is.
are, and it's like.
Where was this at?
We were in the Gulf, so.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember where it was on the Gulf, though, on the inside of Florida.
Okay.
Which was nice because I've dove on both sides, and the Gulf is the best. It's so nice. The water's warm.
Yeah, I hear it's really blue down there, right? Clear water.
Yeah, it's clear. You can really see pretty good too. We went to a shipwreck, and it was super cool. I got to see all kinds of wildlife.
Lots of coral too, maybe.
Yeah, coral. You see all kinds of little fishes. We saw groupers and eels and stuff like that. And then
they mostly leave you alone.
Most things
sure
the same thing as you're walking through the woods.
Fish gets curious every once in a while.
Some fish will come up to you.
Oh, who are you?
Yeah, some fish will come up to you. They'll start nibbling on you or something.
Yeah.
But it's so cool. And I remember when we were on that dive, I didn't have to have my glasses on, right? Because you're wearing the mask, so I can't exactly see the best. I am kind of blind when I'm down there, which. When you think about it, it's like, oh, it's not that bad, but I can't really see anything.
Yeah.
So as we were going up, what you have to do, right, is once you go down a certain point, you have to rest when you're coming up to let the air come out of your body.
Oh, okay.
So you take a decompression stop for 10 to 15 minutes, and while we're doing our decompression stop,
you can't just come straight up.
No. You'll I think you'll get what's called the bends, and that's when you have nitrogen trapped in your body, and there's no way for it to get out, so it can be kind of dangerous, but that's why you make sure you go slow and you take your stops. The air, it's it's really cool because there's a science behind it, and on a part of the world that we don't think about, which is air and pressure in our bodies. And it's we have air in these meat sacks, and then I'm going underneath water getting compressed, and then it's now the air still is going to do its natural process. I allow it to do it. Yeah. So while we were doing that, my stepdad points, gets my attention. He starts pointing, and I just kind of see this shape coming towards us, and he's like, and I'm like, what's that mean? Then he was like this. I'm like, oh, shark.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, there's a shark that was coming to come check us out because we're maybe 20, 30 feet underneath the surface. So now, like,
I hear those are like very curious creatures
very
too,
curious.
like fish, right?
Well, because what they do is they see a silhouette and they're like, oh, I wonder what that is.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm sure it's hearing all of the sounds we're making and whatnot because it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's very
Do you remember
quiet.
what kind of shark it was? Or
he said it was like either a nursery or a sand. It's like something.
Yeah.
Not too big. It was like a medium size. He said, and I was like, oh, also it was a blob, and he's like, yeah, well.
Yeah, I have to look up what a nursery shark is now. But
no, but it was cool. You know, it's like I love diving.
Yeah,
absolutely can say that.
I can tell.
I wish I could do it more.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it more. But
I've been trying to get into it more, but it's like it's scary, you know. But I think once I get over that mental hurdle, I'll just get used to it, and I'll be able to start doing it more.
No, I mean, I was scared the first few times. It's like with rappelling, you know, like going down the tower. It's okay, gosh, it's scary the first time, but then they make you do it a few more times. You know, like,
I about backflipped off the tower, you know.
I did.
If it wasn't for the guy at the bottom, you know, because there's like a DI at the bottom, and he's like, you know, making sure that we don't fall.
Yeah, the safety.
Yeah.
Dang, I almost did just at the beginning when I went to, you know, they have that bar at the bottom for your heels. Yeah. And then I leaned back too far, and I was like, oh, I had to catch myself.
Dang, yeah. I was scared of like breaking my wrist. I wasn't sure, like, gosh, could I, like, is he sure that I'm supposed to put my wrist behind my back like that? Like, I'm not gonna hurt it? Yeah. Oh gosh, what in the world?
Yeah, no. Yeah. You look back on it, and it's like, I still think to myself, wow, I did that.
Yeah. Or like the confidence course, you're like you're looking at the A-frame, for instance, and you're not attached to anything here at this point, and it's still really high, and you get to the top of like this peak, and you have to reach out and grab like this rope and ride the rope all the way to the bottom. And I think back to that and think like, wow, I don't know how I didn't fall off, but I guess God took care of me. You know,
it was fun. You know, it was like a little big old jungle gym.
The balance beams too, leading up to the A-frame. Yeah.
No, it was some cool stuff that we got to do, you know. But
so for you, those are guys that you don't know. Let me move this a little bit, but Dimitry Jean. We served together in the Marine Corps. We both did 6 years. We're both radio operators / like equipment broadband operators. We did all kinds of cool stuff in there, you know. Right now we're just here to talk about just life in general and like some of what, you know, Dimitry does as well. It's weird calling you Dimitry because like I call you like Noel for 6 years.
Don't use all that use time my real name now.
Yeah.
It's Dimitry Levi.
Dimitry. Yeah. Hearing you call me Levi too, I'm just like, whoa, yeah. Who's that guy? It's funny because like everybody back at home calls me Levi, but you know, sometimes I still see like I've seen Pasillas a little bit, and he calls me Gomez too, and still sometimes, and I call him Pasillas. It's hard to call him Gustavo. Or like Torres, I can't remember his first name. But
I can't remember.
Yeah. But no, it's cool.
I don't really see a lot of the boys anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
You should, dude. They're doing pretty good. They're doing all right.
I definitely know.
Gustavo, he's a bus driver, not a bus driver. Sorry, he's a truck driver now, but he gets paid by the load, so he has his own truck. So
nice.
I hear that's how you make like the big bucks in truck driving.
I had a friend in high school. His dad was a truck driver, and he had his own truck.
Really?
Yeah.
I think about
like that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I mean Chris did it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a truck driver.
I think Torres is like back in school, something like that. Rose is still a nurse, working out of Raleigh. Apparently, he still sees Gustavo sometimes. We're talking about doing a beach trip, so we'll see. You know, we might go back to Carolina or Oak Island or something and rent a beach house down there, so that'd be pretty cool.
Okay.
You know, get together with the veteran buddies, you know. We'll make a group chat or something. We'll have to make a group chat together soon.
Absolutely, because we got to stay connected at the least.
Yeah, definitely.
And take care of each other.
Yeah.
Because it's lonely out there sometimes.
Yeah.
It gets quiet sometimes.
It does. I was recently talking to like this guy's name is Dustin, and he's like, I won't say his like full name, but you know, in some ways I like struggle with this too, but I think he like, you know, just has got a lot of stuff going on in some areas, and so just trying to stay in touch with him here and there. We go to the same gym, so it's been really cool reconnecting with him. He was in the Army, and I think he might have been in Korea for a while too. And so recently the Lord's just put it on my heart to also like stay in touch with like some of my veteran buddies that like I went to high school with or that I have served with, because some of them that I went to high school with I didn't serve with necessarily, and they went to like other branches, but now they're back in town, which is pretty cool.
I mean,
and I see them now and I'm like, oh hey, what's up dude, you doing okay? Yeah. And then just like really being curious about their life and making it known to them that like I'm here if they need me for anything, or them too, you know, vice versa, you know. So
that's really good though, because we really got to take care of each other. Especially since we're all wired the same way and we did the same things, no matter what branch you're in. You know, it's a different ball game in the military. So we all get that.
It's like when you're in, it's all goal oriented, and then you get out and it's very different, you know. It's I'm just trying to make it day by day, you know.
It's
like they're holding your hand the entire time while you're in, and then you get out here and it's like no one's holding your hand now.
Wait to get out. I'll say that. It felt like a weight lifted off my shoulder. I cried on the drive back, and I was like, man,
dude, that's awesome.
Free.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, I went crazy.
I remember that last day too.
But
just being an admin, turning everything in, supply, getting out. Heading home and just thinking like, wow, those 6 years went by pretty fast, you know. I was in and now I'm not, and like, what do I do now? I don't know, you know.
I feel that.
It's
been interesting where it can take you. I'll say that. It's interesting where it can take, because I never saw this coming, what I'm doing now.
I've laughed.
I mean, I really enjoyed what I was doing as a carpenter.
So I remember that. Like you still do that too a little bit, right? Like as a hobby, right? You built like a shed too, didn't you, or something?
I built all kinds of things.
You put that in the group chat somewhere.
We built sheds, fences, pergolas, garden boxes. I've done like a whole addition to a house. So it's like those things you'll see in gardens sometimes, where it's just like boards or like, you know, good, you know, like 4x4s, whatever, planks and stuff like that, and it's just there to create shade.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, just all kinds of things, and it's
Did you like grow up doing that a little bit, or
I didn't know how to swing a hammer when I started.
Really?
I mean, I've used like some tools and stuff like that before, but by building, no, I started from scratch. So my parents, they had moved here, and the house that they got, it was completely from like the 1970s, because the woman had passed away and then she never got updated. So they couldn't get a general contractor to come and do the work, because in this area, like, construction is a very busy industry, because there's always stuff being built or added. This area is growing pretty crazy.
There's trees everywhere too, so you know.
Oh, I know.
Have your pick of anything.
People
really.
say that, and it's like, that's probably. People say that, and I'm like, you know what? I've always lived in the trees, so it's like I'm used to it. But so they ended up hiring like a little 2-man crew, and it was a father and a son, and the father was a retired Vietnam veteran. He was like late 60s, 70s, something like that. He was up there, and I was looking for work at the time. This was right before COVID, I believe, or right around that COVID time. So I was doing junk removal, and then they moved here, and I just come by the house just to kind of see it, and they were just kind of chit-chatting. I was like, we kind of got to the point where they asked me what I did, and I was like, I'm looking for work right now. And they said, well, we're looking for an extra hand.
Was that like right after you got out of like
no, this
This was all you still in, right?
4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This was all still in.
As you were about to get out, Okay.
So, I mean, I still had a long time on the contract when I became a carpenter. And then they were like, all right, well, we'll teach you how to swing a hammer if you just show up. And I was like, all right, I can do that. And it was pretty decent pay. So I was like, all right, cool. And I ended up working with them for like 2 years, 2.5 years, for a good chunk of time. And I learned a lot. I learned how to build, and it's so cool, because like now someone can tell me something, like tell me, and like, you know, I build like bookshelves or
dude, that's
table.
Cool. I've always wanted to get into that.
I want to actually start getting into furniture though. Like that's my ultimate goal. Is like once I get this business,
I always wanted to build chairs for indoors, outdoors. You know, a table too, like a dining room table. That'd be cool to build.
Something with a lot of just beautiful craftsmanship, you know,
Yeah.
something to create, because it's so cool. It's a really cool craft. And someday once I get this business going and it's rocking, I can start buying tools and stuff. I want to get back into like building and learning how to build furniture. That's my ultimate goal, because I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
No,
You still try to do it on the side, like to
get a
little bit
I'll do some
extra
odd
commission.
jobs. I'll do
Okay.
odd jobs every once in a while,
Yeah.
or really kind of just people that I meet now. I offer my services to help them with stuff they may have, like whether it's like small bathroom repair here or there, or it's small things now.
Yeah.
But I do still do it, and
Well, next
it's
time you
something
do
will
it,
never go away.
let me know. I want to definitely like tag along so I could learn a thing or two, you know?
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. You figure out something. Also, too, anything to build.
Yeah.
Give me a call, or renovations, upgrading
Okay.
something, updating.
That's cool.
You do it from demo or nothing to finished product. Like, it's pretty cool.
Wow. Okay.
It's
So
pretty
like
cool.
just from scratch,
Yeah, I
you
can
guys do
literally
that,
from
or
scratch. I
as
built,
well
a
like
chicken coop from
modifying
scratch.
stuff too, right?
Yeah. Whether it's
Already
modifying,
existing things. Yeah.
I do, because that's how I started. I started off with just doing, it's called finish work, which is just the inside stuff where, all right, once you're done, like, people are going to be seeing it. And then I worked backwards and went into actual rough carpentry, which is the construction where you're actually building frames and stuff like that. So I've learned the whole process and got my hours in. I'll say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Not
That's
enough,
really
but
cool,
we're working on it.
Yeah. How did like you doing carpentry lead into what you're doing now with like finances and
I'd say complete
accounting?
chance. Chance. So first off, I'm always open to listening to whatever it is, listening to someone, having a conversation, and also, I mean, you just never know where it's going to take you. You know, you have one conversation with someone and it can change your whole life. So don't be closed off to talking, right?
Yeah, that's something I have to work on too sometimes because of like how oriented I am, and like always thinking that I'm supposed to be like go, and not giving myself enough time to rest and to wait and to like examine and or listen, you know, or meditate, practicing mindfulness, something that I'm doing more now than before. I've missed out definitely like on experiences that could have been had that would have led to, you know, some sort of blessing in some way, or something that I would have learned, or something the other person would have gotten from me, perhaps, right? So just being more open to that, that's cool.
It's definitely, it opens up a lot of different just fun conversations once you start doing it, because I've met all kinds of people just in the last few months, just because I'm open to, you know, just interact with someone and to listen to them. And that's, I'll say this, knowing how lonely it can be, I also know that, all right, if I'm lonely, I probably know a lot of people are lonely. So everybody's always open just to talk and have a conversation with someone to listen, you know. And so I'm like, all right, cool.
That's like more on the rise now too, like even among people that weren't, you know, veterans, just because, I don't know, for a lot of reasons, people are a lot more misunderstood now than ever before. And
whoa, dude, it's interesting.
I think part of it is we've lost some of our social skills because of like the internet, social media, phones,
100%.
Vices left and right, you know, all that stuff. But definitely technology that hasn't helped. It's helped in a lot of ways in a positive direction, in a positive way. But also, it's not without its faults.
I didn't realize how much I was on my phone, so I started putting it down.
Yeah.
You know, then you realize it's like every time there's a pause or a lull in the action, I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's like
right after you, for me, that's happened to me where I'm like, I've already made the decision to stay off my phone for the rest of the day, and I'm like, all right, I'm staying off my phone for the rest of the day, and then 2 minutes later, I'm like back on it for like 5 minutes. Oh wait, what am I doing? And like it's almost like I completely forgot that I had set that goal. And
breaking that programming now.
Exactly. Yeah, going through those withdrawals, you know, and those are their own form of withdrawals too, if you think about it.
When it's built up, you don't even. It's just a normal part of your life. You know, just pick up my phone and start.
Yeah.
You know, and then you realize it's like, I've just looked at nothing for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, doom scrolling is what they call it, right? Doom scrolling. Gosh.
No, it's bad when you really pay attention.
And it feels nice, like, in the moment, but it's, you know, then comes the hard crash, right? And then there's, like, the thoughts and the feelings of, like, what did I just do, you know, for the past 5 hours, right? So, yeah.
No, that's the thing for me is, like, I'm always present, like, whenever, like, I'm in my body, like, I'm present, I'm always aware I'm here. So it's like once I get done with that doom scrolling, like even while I'm doing it, it's just still I always have that something nagging in the back of my head of like I've got better things to be doing. So it's really nice. Like, I always have something back in my head. That
that's good.
Values my time, because it's like I'm not here very long. You know, I turn 26 tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
well, happy belated. Well, not belated. Sorry, happy early birthday.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
I just turned 26. June 18th. So dang, that's cool. Both June.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Great month to have a birthday when it's not smoldering hot.
Yeah, it is. We're like right in the middle of all the other months, you know.
Yeah.
That might mean we're the most important. I don't know.
I always thought so. It's like, you know, the year starts, the year ends, but what happens in the middle, right? That's when people really want to have fun.
Yeah.
That's when people get out. That's when cool things happen.
Yeah, exactly.
During the summer.
Exactly.
So also when it's the hottest, but it's cool. I'll accept it.
Yeah.
We'll work with it. What were we talking about? Whoa, work. Complete chance that I ended up in the financial industry. So my brother comes home one day and he's like, "Hey, Dimitry, you need to come and meet this guy. He's talking about this."
Is he like older than you or younger than you?
No, he's a year younger than me.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
He was working as a server at the time.
Yeah, I forgot you had a brother.
Yeah, he was working as a server at the time. And he
like
was
waiter server, right?
Yeah,
Restaurant.
like a waiter server. Yeah, at a little sports bar.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was like, "Hey, come talk to this guy. He was talking about the investment stuff, and he made a lot of money in my booth today." And I'm like, "Okay, all right, I'll come. Let's see what he has to say, right?"
Yeah.
Because what's a 15 to 20-minute conversation in my boring day, anyways? Right?
Yeah.
So we go and we meet him. You know, we have a beer or two, and he just kind of chit chats with us. We just talk, and he just kind of sits down and shows a whole life insurance policy to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. I can see the value in it," because I've kind of dabbled in finances and investing, and I've traded stocks for the past 4 years now on my own. Like, that's my thing.
I'm like slowly getting into that.
Yeah,
now,
I taught myself how to trade stocks, and I'm proud of myself. And the
Apple's doing really good right now.
Yeah, it's been that's another thing. The market's doing great, but not everything else is doing great. It's scary. Yeah, it's scary. But not to segue too off, because I can go real hard when it starts coming and you start talking about that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm investing in like 4 different companies right now. So like we'll see where it goes. You know, little by little. You know, I'm hoping to put more in than them.
Yeah, no, it's about first off, right now it's just a great time, and then 2, it's about picking good place. That's it.
Yeah,
good place. Look into the company. I can guess the companies are probably investing under the big ones, right?
Yeah,
so then there you go.
Have you heard of Nvidia?
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're like a software development company, right? And they make like discrete like software, I guess, for apparently I try to watch like within the past year, like how well have they done within the last year, and if it's moved into positive, like a really good positive direction, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I look at within the last month, and then I'm like,
that's pretty solid. What is
and then obviously like the size of the company too.
Yeah.
And, okay, how big is this company, and what they're making too? Like how beneficial is this going to be to modern technology?
Yeah. So you look into some value stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's a good way. That's a good thing to put your stuff behind, you know, starting off in trading.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've heard of Nvidia. I've been watching them for a while. It's crazy what the stock has done, you know.
Yeah.
Just like a couple opportunities missed.
Yeah.
A couple opportunities, but it's cool. But he just showed me how a whole life policy works, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Can I get one? And he's like, I can do you one better. I can get you a career in this industry. And I was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. Sure, why not? You know, we'll see where this goes. Because at the time, it was like July, August. We had just got to the end of the summer, and I spent that whole summer digging holes. And, like, you know, working outside in the sun. It was hot. And I was like,
still like with carpentry, right?
Yeah. We were building. That's where that shed you talked about. We built that shed during the summer.
Oh, okay.
Disgustingly hot.
Yeah, I bet.
So. Once that happened, I was like,
especially if you're anywhere near a body of water, then
it's just muggy. And also too, like on a horse ranch, there's no trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
You know, they gotta have space for the trees, so they kill all the trees in that area. So, yeah, there's not a lot of shade. And it definitely was hot.
I bet.
But
that sounds like a challenge. Sounds like a boot camp number 2 almost. You know.
You know, it was work. I enjoyed the guys that I work with because they made it fun and the day would go by. But
that goes a long way. Like
it does. The camaraderie.
Yeah.
Like it really helps.
Being around the right group of people, like no matter how crappy the job is, that goes a long way. And then you just make memories that last a lifetime, you know?
Yeah.
Or like makes coming to work like worthwhile, you know? It's like that getting up, you know, like, oh, at least, you know, I'll be hanging out with so-and-so when we're over there.
Hanging out with some guys that crack great jokes and have good conversation.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a rougher crowd on that side, but still great guys.
We were created to be around each other, to be around people. Like, we obviously to have our privacy and to, you know, have our own alone time, but then also to like truly interact and be
we're
around.
Social creatures.
Yeah.
Like that's innately built in us. So if you don't do it, then at least a lot of other things, or like also too, like physical touch is a requirement for a balanced, healthy life. Like even just having a hug, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and you look back on it, it's like, man, I just wasn't hugged enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of people just haven't been hugged enough. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I've been trying to get more into that now, especially at this church that I go to now. It's like,
crazy. If, you know, they want to
hug everybody there.
Give a hug.
Yeah, it's been great.
Man, we need a lot more love to be spread.
I've realized that, like, I've needed more hugs too, and I'm like, oh, wow, like.
It feels nice. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a person. Yeah. Put the smile on my face.
It breaks down some of those like walls, like those. You know, like,
get up stuck in your head and it goes into your body, you know, and it's like, oh no, I am here, I am safe, and I am okay.
And I think it works so tremendously against social anxiety too, which is something I struggle with a good bit too. But like the Lord's been working in my life when it comes to that too, even, and just like showing me how to get out of that and just, you know, being myself in like a positive way, you know, and establishing the right healthy boundaries, you know. And not telling like everybody like the whole life story, obviously, but you know, balancing everything. So
there's balance in everything, absolutely. You know, it definitely comes with just being comfortable. Being comfortable and being at peace. And it's not easy. I'll say that. But
not worrying so much about what other people think and just like saying it. You know, like okay, you know, I'm just gonna say it, right?
Yeah,
or I'm just gonna do it.
There's one thing that I remember reading. It was like. It's not, I'm not absolved of the responsibility of what I say, but I don't have to worry about the outcome. You know, if I'm just honest. And then just meet everything with honesty. I'm not going to lie, but I don't have to, I can choose. You get to choose what you say.
It's like as long as I'm being genuine in a positive direction and I'm like trying to show this person who I am, like without trying to hurt them, you know, the intentions were good, right? And you've checked those intentions, then ultimately it's on them to police their own actions too, and their own thoughts and their own feelings. You know, and you're not responsible for that. I'm not responsible for that for other people. Exactly.
And we all have a personal responsibility. To take care of our own selves, our own emotions, to make sure that we are the best that we can be for the people that are around us and the people that we interact with. Because something like interacting with someone who's just in a bad mood, and it's like, well, why are you taking that out on me? What did I do to you? You know?
And I've been able to like spot that more too, and I've just been like, okay, I get it now, you know? But it makes it easier to approach like more conversations, and I think that bolsters confidence, and that leads to less social anxiety because now you're able to like spot that more, and you're not like so much blaming yourself, because part of that social anxiety is just taking all that blame on yourself too, and like, oh, what did I do? Maybe it was something I said. No, like that was them. You know?
Now I'm at the point where like I'll
in
ask,
those instances,
if I see that if there's something wrong, I'll ask, hey, is there something wrong? Is there something that we need to talk about?
Just being more direct too. You being more honest.
Trying to open the floor because I also understand, well, if these are the things I struggle with, then I have to continuously remind myself this is stuff that everyone struggles with, and that's easy to forget when it's loud, it's chaotic, there's lights, you're thinking, and things are moving fast, and even your own emotions and feelings are running high. And
there's a verse in the Bible that goes, no temptation has overcome you that is not common to man, you know, meaning that we all struggle with a lot of the same things at the end of the day, you know, and trying to look at the next person with that empathy and understand maybe where they're coming from goes a long way. So
it does. That's the one thing that I've really picked up from starting my journey with God again. It's just that God is love, and love is in action.
Yeah.
And if I can
Yes, it is. It definitely is. It's a constant action.
Show these actions towards people and give that love unconditionally, not putting myself, making myself vulnerable to be taken advantage of, but just being open and understanding and giving grace and love to someone who may need it. And
that's the best place to be at.
A lot
honestly.
of conversations with people, and it's just like you kind of see it. Because then you start, like you said, being mindful and being in the moment.
Yeah.
You get to really start picking up on a lot of things, because just when you really do kind of focus in on just the regulation of yourself, then it's like, well, whatever comes in, I'm just pushing out warm love. That's it. It doesn't even matter. It's just love, peace. I'm
and
here
things just start bouncing off of you too, if it's negative, right? Or you and it makes it easier for you to just be yourself and be genuine too, and continue to do that.
Yeah, it does. It makes being able to wake up every day and walk through the world easier.
Yeah.
So much easier. Because I wake up with a smile on my face now, and I'm like, man, thank you, God. I got another opportunity today to go out there and change the world, and to meet people, and to spread love, and just to help, right? Because I like to say, what else do I have to do? Seriously, if you there's
it's a blessing just being out here by this lake, just being alive,
dude,
this fresh air, the golden golden hour. You guys got to see this. Well, you guys are seeing it. You can see some of the lake in this shot.
A little flip, it's a nice little spread.
Right. Yeah, look, right here. So this is the spot here. What's this place called again?
It's called Reservoir Park.
Reservoir Park.
Yeah.
Reservoir Park. Yeah. I'm hesitant to say it's North Carolina because then some of y'all might want to move here. No, I'm just kidding. Well, there's a lot of people moving to North Carolina, man.
Hey, it's okay if they
from
can
the city, like
prices.
Up north, New Jersey,
I've met a lot of
like
people.
Maryland,
from like San Diego,
Virginia.
New York.
Yeah. Lots of people from big metropolitan areas are trying to move down here now.
I don't blame them. I do not blame them. You need to.
There's a lot more space down here, though, so it makes sense.
There's more trees to cut down.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot more trees. There's more areas to build your house at too, like starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So.
Also,
definitely.
too, if you've got the bread for it.
Yeah.
You've got the access.
I've always wanted to build my own house, so that'd be cool someday.
That would be a goal someday, but man, that's so expensive.
Yeah, like building from scratch, right? Did you say that's more expensive than like buying?
Absolutely. Honestly, I would say I think a lot of the material prices are down now, so it might be about even, but honestly, house prices are ridiculous, so it just depends on... Because we're talking about land and the house, so it just really depends on if you can really work it out, but honestly, at this point, you might be better off just buying a decent house, because...
And then renovating it later.
Honestly, it's just a tough time to do anything with that house, I'll say that, because... If you're not paying all that with cash and you're taking out a loan, and it's gonna be a decent interest rate on it, so I find that, and the mortgage.
Yeah. And then like inflation, interest rates are just bad, right? They're like trying to like rip everybody off right now. And,
it's crazy.
Even down here, like 2-bedroom houses, I think are going for like almost $300K now, right? Four. Just about anywhere.
Yeah, houses in this area range from like 4 to 5.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, my parents. I'm not gonna tell their business, but they turned a decent profit on their house right now.
Really?
If
Okay.
they were to sell it,
Mine too. Yeah. If they were to sell their house, they'd turn a pretty decent profit
from
too.
when they got it to now, and just the way that house prices have risen, it's crazy. But they like to play games with money, so we have things happen, and then we have to eat the repercussions of it.
Yeah. Which is what you try to teach people, like at the job. Like,
No,
now,
it's
like planning and like, okay, so if you go without this amount of money, which really won't affect you as much for X amount of time, then you'll have this amount of money later, right? And that's ultimately what all of it is, right? That's like the general theme, right?
Yes.
And then working with like not just their money, but then this company will come in and help you out a little bit too, and put some of their
we will hook people up with we have investment companies that we work with for the products that they have. So it's like, all right, hey, this person's going to set up this account for you. I will be managing it and make sure everything's all right, cool. Make sure that we've made everything's going well with it, and it's just kind of like that accountability partner, like that accountability thing. Of like, okay, because this is the thing, right? It's what I've one thing is that Do you know how much that you're gonna need by the time you want to retire?
It's probably over $1 million.
Shoot for 2 to 3.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And the average person to be able to stop, and we're just talking about the age of 65, right?
Yeah.
The age of 65, you're like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take my retirement and I'm gonna take my Social Security, and I don't want to work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You need about $2 to $3 million available in your retirement account or wherever you have it at, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To live off of for that amount of time where you'll most likely pass away, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, well, first off, how do you get there, right? Well, you got to start now. You got to plan. You got to think about that stuff.
Yeah.
But
it pays to start early.
It does. But what they do is they're like, all right, hey guys, go to school, go to high school, maybe you'll go to college, but you all know you're going to be working whatever you're doing. Good day.
Yeah.
Talk to you later. Don't forget your taxes every year.
Yeah.
Or I'll come for you, and have a good day.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, how do we get off the train?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stop?
Mm-hmm.
How do you stop the cycle of waking up, going to work, paying bills, making money, rinse and repeat?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you're living a little close to your fine line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, how do I get out of this?
Yeah.
How do I help myself? And I say, there's two problems that people mainly have. It's either it's a spending problem or I don't make enough money problem.
Yeah.
And I like to say it's an I don't make enough money problem, because who doesn't like to make more money?
Yeah.
Right? If you can make more.
It's probably like a little bit of both, right? Maybe we don't have to go out to eat as much, and maybe
and that's the thing. For most people,
do we
it is
need
a
this
little
many
bit of
subscriptions a month? We're paying for like 17
I'm running
different
a balance
like,
on my credit card, and it's like it usually is just a mix of things. But that's where you have someone in your corner saying, all right, here's your plan. This is how you're going to pay off all your debt. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to put, $150 away into this account, and it's going to have this much by this year. And then you're going to set up an emergency fund in this bank account. We're going to make sure you have that. We're going to make sure we put in place all these little blocks so that then month by month, year by year, you're just kind of building up your financial house, right? So you just kind of start putting in place all these different things with just understanding that, okay, the ultimate goal is so that I don't have to wake up every day and be required to go to work. That's it. That's the ultimate goal. That's why I want to help people. That's why I want to talk to as many people as I can, because we're not meant to go wake up and go to work every day and then start living your life at 65.
Yeah, exactly.
You hear about midlife crisis, right? That's because people figure out, like, oh my gosh, I just spent my youthful years giving it away to this job, and I'm not even a person.
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking to see someone dedicate their lives to something, and then they get to the end of it and they realize, I put all this time and energy into this, and it didn't exactly give me what I thought it was going to.
Yeah. Where's my fulfillment that I was promised in college?
And then I'm not in a better position off, because then in the meantime, I wasn't taking care of my finances.
Yeah.
If you were at least taking care of your finances, then, hey, you can at least have a part two. But people don't do either of that.
Yeah.
And that's where I want to, I take joy in being able to break into somebody's life and being like, hey, what's going on and how can I help you? Yeah. That's all I care about. Yeah. And a lot of people think they don't need help, or they think they have it all right. And it's like, well, everything that you own or everything that's going to get you to that goal is tied to your job. Do you plan on working there forever?
They haven't asked themselves the hard questions yet, too, sometimes. And
no, because we get started and then it gets fast.
Or they tell themselves, well, I have plenty of time, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. And then later happens, and they're like, wait a minute, I thought I had more time, right? Yeah.
Oh, now I got to get started. And it's like, I've talked to a lot of people in different, in the different phases of their life. And I would say that 30 to 40 range right there, a lot of people in that range are learning that. Oh, the stuff I was told and the truths I made in my life and the way I live my life isn't exactly the way to fulfillment. It didn't lead to what I thought it was going to. Now what? And if they're lucky, they're at least making enough money, and they've got stuff put away. And seeing that, it's like, wow, people need help. Not like I'm a savior or anything, but people, like we were talking about, people today.
You're helping them. You're giving them the tools. It's like the carpentry tools in a sense. You're giving them the hammer and the saw to be able to tackle these financial problems that they might have, or
problems, goals,
yeah,
ambitions.
or goals, yeah.
Like we all have goals that we want, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll say it's not something I exactly really thought of until recently. Of like, well, what does the rest of this look like? I'm 26 now, and it's like, okay, what now? What do I want the future to look like? Where will I see myself going? And of course, at the root of all of it is like, well, what's funding all of that?
Yeah.
And kind of start reading and learning and listening, and then
trying to get away from like the the active income, and like not living totally off of like your labor, right? And trying to find other ways of like making money and passive income. And yeah, that's really important. That's big. I get scared of that sometimes too. I think like, do I really want to like live solely off of like the fruits of my labor? Like, yeah, in some ways passive income is still kind of like the fruits of your labor in a sense, but like, I think about that sometimes. Like, what were to happen to me if I were to get hurt or injured? My job that I have now at P&G, like they have like a disability program for like a year, I believe. Yeah. But then after that, then what? And so
that's the great thing is that you can own all that stuff personally. That's the thing. Like, you can own all that stuff personally. It's just that part of, let me get back to the question of, well, is it an income thing or is it a spending thing? And what does your whole breakdown look like? Because if you're bringing in, let's say $60,000 to $70,000 a year, right? But you're spending half of it, and then you've got another $30,000 worth of debt and various different things, cars, credit card, personal loan, whatever it is, and your subscriptions, and it's like, okay, well, now you're limiting yourself a little bit.
You don't really have a whole lot to like work with after that.
And it's like, hey, let's bring that down, so then you can start thinking. I help people think longer, think farther. I've always known for myself that I've always kind of been in the, my mind's always been in the future, always thinking about, what's next, right? All right, I've done this, what next? What happens next? What am I going to do next? And with doing that, it's like, okay, I'm pretty great at planning. Right? That's what I've learned. I'm pretty great at being able to sit here today, right now, and think out 30, 40, 50 years in the future. Right? Okay, what do I want it to look like though, for myself? But now I can do that.
It's important to be able to picture it,
Yeah, that's the thing. We all have to have a picture. Like for you, right? Let's just start small. What does 10 years from now look like? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you'll be 36.
Yeah, I'll be 36.
You'll be 36. What is
hopefully my daughter will be back in my life at that point, and that's like a whole nother mess. But and hopefully I'll be I'll have monetized this channel. Hopefully, God willing, I'll be in a place where I don't have any debt at all, and I'm simply just put money aside, and watching it like, compound for the future. And maybe also taking some of that and helping other people out too, like not just like letting it like,
we gotta spread the love.
Exactly. Not letting it pile up in some dark, basement, or, like legitimately like helping other people too, because I'm also a firm believer in that we don't all make it alone, and not in this world. We need help from other people, like you and I, and friends, family, church members, loved ones, right? So
we absolutely do need that help.
Hoping to be that too for other people, like a philanthropist, if you will, in a sense,
Well,
like a little mini one, maybe.
That's part of a balanced life is as a human, man, is that we have to do for ourselves. We get ourselves to a spot where we can take care of ourselves and take care of the ones that we love, and then from there it's like, all right, who else could I help? Because this is a group project. Getting through life is a group project. That's how it's not. We have this culture in America of independence and singularity, but it's like, that's depressing and lonely.
It is.
And like when you have a problem, then guess what? You're by yourself dealing with that problem. You don't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
We need to go back to
pull
more
yourselves up by your
community.
bootstraps, right? That's another saying that goes with that. You know, I've never really agreed with that either.
I never did either, because it's like, no, we need help.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I'm 26. There's only so much I could have done and learned in my life. I'm capped out. Even though if I was perfect at every turn and done everything right, there's still only so much I could have done and accomplished versus someone who might be 40 or 50 and they've got an extra 30 years than me, and they've got another 30 years making mistakes and learning, right? And it's like, okay, we all need help if you open yourself up to it. You know,
that's big.
It's important.
It is. It's really important.
I really think we should go back to a communal thing in America. Like, you know, especially more than ever now, because
it's
we
like
really need each other.
Yeah. I've read somewhere that now apparently people feel more connected to the movie or series or show characters that they watch on their TVs than they do with like actual people, usually, which is pretty crazy.
It is crazy,
you know,
but
that we got to that
I
point.
agree with it, man.
Like people feel like they can empathize more with a character in a Netflix series, for instance, than someone they meet in person.
Yeah, I think that's interesting because like with my job now, like all I do is talk to people all day. That's it. It's either I'm trying to put myself in an environment or a room, a networking event, a little pop-up, a market affair. It doesn't matter. I'm outside trying to talk to whoever I can find. Because also too with the way I like to run my own business is that if I help you, I know you. Right? If you call me, your name's gonna pop up on my phone because I genuinely care about you, your well-being, and how your life is gonna end. Like if there's anything that I can do to get you into a better position so that you can be able to take care of yourself and your family, I want to be able to do that and do that to the fullest of all my abilities. Because I care that much about other people and the people that I meet. Like I'm the type of person.
And I saw that too. Like when we talked about like when you were talking to me about like the different like programs that you guys had and like what financial plans we could have gone into and things like that. And I'm sure other people see that too. That goes a long way.
I appreciate that because like I think that's the core. That should be the core of every person who does what I do is genuine love and care for the person that you're helping, and to help them in 100% of your ability. Because I mean, it just people appreciate it. People need that love. Like that's what I believe. People really just need that love and care to be shown to them because it's hard to find it anywhere else. You know, especially it's not like our government's doing it. You know, it's not like the powers that be are actually doing their job. So that's when we should go back to more communal thing. Because I was born an American, and I believe that hey, if you're an American, that we take care of each other. You know, we're all in this together because we were born in the great U.S. of A. Red, white, and blue, baby. You know, so it's like, that's a little died out now, but I'm also a person A. Lead by example. So,
that's important too. Like that's part of why I do this. Like influence. You know. Yeah, exactly.
You got to be the change you want to see.
Part of that's scary, but it's worth it in the end. You know, it's always going to be scary, but if just stepping out there in courage and bravery, you know, that's what bravery is. It's not the absence of fear, but it is like choosing to be courageous while you're fearful.
I mean, there's times where like I should say like when I first started, I'd be in a room, I'd be in front of 15, 20, 30 people talking about this stuff, and I'm sweating and I'm shaking, right? But I'm still cool, calm, collected in my voice because it's that passion, that conviction. But little do those people know, as I'm doing all of this and pointing at things and getting their attention, cracking jokes, smiling and laughing, I'm scared. I'm shaking literally because, you know, like you said, I have social anxiety. I'm not afraid to say that. Also, too, it's really interesting when you don't think you have it and then you finally get into that position where you have to do something in front of people and you're like, oh, I don't like this. This does not feel good. But after you do it a while, you get used to it, and it's like, oh, wait, you do.
It feels great too, right? You're done, and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad. I got through it. You know.
No,
I can do it again. You know.
And then you do it again.
You pat yourself on the back, and you're like, wow, and you should be like proud of yourself for that.
Victories.
Exactly. Yeah, little wins. You know, I think it's important to have those, and like little wins like that happen in the finance world too. You know, like you pay something off or reach a new milestone, right? move on to the next thing, you know, like
that's
whether
the
that's
way
paying
that
off
you,
debt, like and snowball.
that's how you stay on
right?
track right there, is to
Yeah.
celebrate the little wins, because then you can track your progress, because it didn't start off that way, but we can make it better. You know, we can always make things better if you're willing to make a choice to say yes. You know, and that's what I help people do, is just first learn, because I truly believe, like, I'm not just going to be like, all right, this is what you need to do, sign here, adios. No, like, hey, I want you to know this so you can possibly tell other people too. It's just like it's actually, you know, I went to church this morning, they're like, spread the gospel, you know, tell other people about it. I'm like, it's the same thing with the way I approach finance. It's like, I want you to tell other people about this, because nobody's saying this, nobody's teaching this. I've been tapped into this type of stuff, and you just go about your daily conversations, and no one, it's not that they don't understand or they don't know, they just haven't had the time to learn. Because once life starts, it kind of goes fast.
It does.
So
there's just so many distractions, so many things like pulling us in different directions and trying to tell us to do this or do that, or like, oh, that's cool, and then it's like a squirrel in a tree, or to a dog, right? And oh, squirrel, and next thing you know, you've been focused on the squirrel for the past hour, right? But no, that's important. It's important to like share that knowledge too, that information, you know, that's key, and not enough people do that too, you know.
No,
and sometimes I get in the habit of that,
that's
you know.
Why. You know, I'll make sure I give you my bill after this.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, that's like, no. Like, Plus, the thing too is, like, all this information has been out there for such a long time.
And I understand people have to make a living, so I respect that too. And you know, nothing's free, you know, unfortunately. But you know, little tidbits, things like that, things that can, you know, like
make
I was saying earlier,
impact.
like that little sprinkles a gift at the very least, you know. It's a gift ultimately, and because no one makes it on their own, and helping people out a little bit more than, you know. And
you may never know what'll like spark something in someone's head or make a shift in their life. But as long as you are pursuing honesty and truth, I won't say everything will work out, but most things will. It'll lead you down the right path and lead you in the right direction. Like, I can say, like, I've never had so many positive reactions from people until recently, and it's like, people keep telling me, oh, you have a great energy and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you do. You know, they're right.
Every
they're
day.
Right.
Like, I don't know, but they're like,
they're right, Dimitri.
And it's like, well, okay, if I got that, then like, what hasn't been going on, right? And I'm like, okay. That's when I really start leaning into that spreading love and just understanding that people have been going through a lot. And I really noticed it when I was like, I have this buddy, he's developing this dating app, and you know, so it's like you'll hold mixers for it to gather data and stuff like that. And
what are mixers?
Like dating mixers.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that people will come. So the app's actually really cool. So it works on like it's like a proximity thing. So
that's
it'll
cool.
match you up with the people that are at that event or in that area, and then there you go, off like similar interests or whatever, simple stuff. And then you go and you have a conversation. You actually meet them face to face. And I'm just, you know, from doing that, you kind of realize like we've really taken out human connection in the world that we live in right now. It's so dearly needed, and you can see like COVID was a weird time and it did a lot of different things, but what it did was really shake people up. You know, it really like broke a lot of things for people, because now people are coming out of their houses and they're like, oh wow. I've realized that I've met people and they were like, yeah, this is my first time coming out since COVID. I'm like,
a lot of people
3 or 4
develop
years ago, you know,
it's like extreme introvert habits, you know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being like an introvert, and for starters, I have a whole nother like issue with identifying as something, you know, like as identifying with like a character trait. Like you can display character traits, but that's like a whole nother conversation. And but what I was saying was that like you were saying with the COVID, people got into, many people, including myself sometimes, like just staying at home all day, and like if they don't have to work, well, I'm not going out at all, you know, and then I'm just gonna like binge Netflix for 12 hours, you know, and thinking that like, okay, that this is like super perfectly fine and like it's healthy, right? Well, is it? I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure like
can go by really fast.
Like I think it's like frying your brain at this point, you know, and isn't that bad for your eyeballs too? And like you're living super like
sedentary.
Exactly.
You know?
Sedentary lifestyle up to a certain point. Like, you know, everything with balance, it's just hurting you now, you know. And I think you're not even supposed to sit down for long periods of time like that anyway. It's bad for your
My
spine,
legs
you know.
get stiff.
I can think of like a million things that are wrong with that, you know, ultimately. Not to like be judgmental or anything, but honestly, like, yeah.
I mean, I'll say for you, there's nothing wrong with taking the time that you need for yourself, but we were made a certain way to live a certain kind of life, and a lot of what we deal with in our modern lives does not match up with the way that we're supposed to be, you know. Like you're saying, hey, I'm currently in a box with a roof over my head, in this comfortability, not moving, just putting stuff into my mind all day, and it's like, or all evening, all night. Whenever I get home from work, this is just all I do. Maybe I'll chit chat or text or call someone, and it's like, life is going by.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
it's not like it stopped while you were at home.
Exactly.
You know?
No. Yeah. While you're doing that, there are a million other things going on in the world. And I'm not gonna get all deep or whatever about all the crazy things going on in the world.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, your life is going by. You're only that age, that day, one time. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And don't be surprised when you look back and it's like, oh, why didn't things end up the way I wanted it to? Or why am I not in the position I thought I was? And it's like, well, you spent 30% of your time just sitting there watching TV. When you could been doing all kind, like, just for me, stopping playing video games and watching TV and just praying and reading the Bible more, it's like...
Or on the flip side, like, you spent all that time trying to have as much fun as possible by, like bringing whatever high or pleasure to your life at every single moment of your life, all the time. You know, you sought pleasure like 100% of the time, and you never wanted to sit down to actually put this stuff down on paper and like choose to be uncomfortable. That sounded weird, right? Like,
no,
it was almost like the tree was starting to buckle, right?
Like a branch was about to fall.
Yeah.
That's what makes you don't get hit in the head.
That's what a tree sounds like too, by the way. Like when it's about to come down.
Oh really?
Like,
the popping.
A little bit.
Yeah. Scary sound.
Yeah, I thought it was a little tiny tree though. I mean, I didn't think it was something big that was coming down, but anyway.
I make sure you don't have to call out the ambulance or something. Get hit with something. It's like tall trees right there.
Yeah. But dude, it was awesome. This was great.
Yeah.
Like it was. Thanks for having me. You know.
No,
it's funny though saying that. You know, thanks for having me. Like as if like
you came down here to come and see me. So.
Yeah. That is true. You know.
Yeah.
It is.
But it was a great conversation, man.
It was.
Definitely,
Great location.
We need to stay in contact more, we can chit chat more, because we can definitely.
Oh yeah.
We're on the same journey right now, on the same path of being better every day and trying to strive towards our goals. So we got to make that community.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It'd be cool to like sit down and talk some more about this too, pretty soon. You know, I'm definitely hoping to like get into like financial planning more and like getting more into investing now, with some other stocks as well. But beyond that too, just because there's a difference between like aggressive and then like, what's the other one? Passive. So more like aggressive investing and then the not so aggressive investing, and that's like
active,
a whole other
passive,
thing, right?
Aggressive and conservative. I love talking about that stuff because I think it's important, and I've spent a lot of time just learning about it and like reading about what works, what doesn't work, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and just like, hey, there's all this knowledge out there. Get it or find someone who has it and use it. Because guess what? The people that are really, really making money, they're using it every day.
Yeah.
And they might have you, they'll probably make you pay for a course. Yeah. Because most of them are smart like that, and they understand this is all a business, it's all money, and if you want this, knowledge is power.
Yeah, it is. Information is power.
You should be using it too. And if you're not, find someone who can do it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's so much knowledge out there that can really help benefit and change your life.
Yeah.
Or just watching TV though.
Yeah.
That's kind of how that works.
Yeah. Or just like doom scrolling instead. You either choose that and choose to like waste away, or
are you getting active?
Exactly. Yeah.
And we all have to be actively participating in our
the brain's a
lives
muscle too
day.
in its own way, Are you like exercising that too?
Are
you putting it through its workouts?
Awful at math.
Yeah.
Until I became a carpenter. And
really?
Yeah, my math is.
I still struggle with math a little bit. Yeah.
Like I can actually.
Word problems, like if you can just stick to like one, like what's the word? Like just quantitative literacy, which has to do with like unit conversions and stuff like that. Just
Simple
keep it to one unit.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. I like to keep it. Also, that's what's great about finance is the math is easy.
Yeah.
Either you're making enough or you're not. Either you're spending too much or you're not. So it's the math is pretty simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this has been a great combo, man.
Yeah, it has. It definitely has.
It's been
we got to do it again.
For sure. I'd love to spit all kinds of knowledge and just learn more. I think we can learn more together, a lot more.
Yeah, we definitely. Any last words? People in the back.
Yeah. Last words. Well, I'll just leave it with this: spread more love, smile more, and tell someone that you love them.
Oh yeah.
Just keep it simple. You know, we need a lot more love out there today. Yeah. It's a cold world, and it doesn't need to be so cold because we're all stuck in this together.
Yeah. And don't forget to set that time aside to plan ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you got to plan today. Nothing gets done unless it happens today.
Yeah. Definitely.
Love that one because I'll always do it tomorrow. Come on, do it today.
Yeah. All right.